All right, guys, we are here today. Oh, I'm not feeling good. Let me drink some coffee. Today we got non-farm payrolls and unemployment. Oh, market might be kind of flat leading into this report. Oh. Let me know how the music is. Non-farm payrolls today are expected at 133,000. We got jobless. We got unemployment expected to stay the same at 4.2%. All right, guys, look at the NASDAQ start to push up. We still got Apple. Apple kind of red on the day, but it had a pretty big day yesterday. Apple reacted negatively to earnings, I guess. Amazon's starting to creep back up still, but we're getting a little bit of movement from them. Meta's almost up to 600 still. Nvidia's at 113s. We can take a look at bond yields to see where they're at this morning. See where rate cut expectations are. Bond yields up a little bit today. Yeah, bond yields over the last day have increased. You can see they were as low as like 4.12, 4.15%. Today they are as high as 4.21% this morning. So dipping down after surging up yesterday. Today's probably the biggest economic report of the week with non-farm payroll data. Very important report today. We'll see what happens. We'll see if it moves markets. But very important report. We'll do a poll. Does the market want higher or lower payrolls versus expectations? Look at the NASDAQ surge here. Here's 950. I think we got to watch 20,000 above us. It's a Fay, Pawn, Ray, Stiff, Nas, Harris, Mo. I know there's some more of you guys in here. I just can't scroll up and see it for some reason. Pop this poll out. Ricky, what's up, man? Olivia, Todd. Try to make money today. All right, so again, today is a massive day for finance and economic data. We have the NFP non-farm payrolls report, as well as the unemployment release live here at 8:30. Yesterday we had Amazon and Apple earnings. All right, guys. So again, today is a massive day for finance and economic data. We have the NFP non-farm payroll report, as well as the unemployment release live right here at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time is when this report is going to be coming out. This follows a huge week of drops, including Amazon and Apple earnings yesterday. Are we going to close red or green today? Let me know. Are we a risk on or risk off scenario? Or wait, I think the market might be sideways leading into the payroll report. I don't know for sure though. Again, I've been running a fever all night, to be honest. My nose is stuffed up, my throat is sore. Just not feeling 100%. I'll get a timer up. We have some earnings this morning that have been releasing too. I think we have oil earnings. Yeah, we got Exxon, Chevron, Cigna, Apollo, Cibo, Magna, DuPont, Eden, Chevron, Exxon, Fubo. So we got some earnings today. Tether is preparing to launch a US-based stablecoin as soon as this year, according to CNBC. I know, I really did jinx myself, I think. Yeah, I was telling people just the other day I haven't been sick in years. And now I'm sick. It's very weird how that happens. Yeah, turn the music down. Let me know if that's good. Should be good. Should be better. I got what my daughter called. My daughter is sick. And she slept on my side of the bed whenever I was gone doing stuff. She was on my side of the bed taking a nap, and then I didn't realize she laid there, and then I laid there, and now I'm sick, unfortunately. Kids, man, kids. All right, so April jobs report comes in today. They're expecting 100 and right around 133, 138. March showed up at 228, so a really hot jobs report in March. Unemployment, they're expecting 4.2% unchanged. Jobless claims showed 241, which is the highest since February yesterday. Yeah, we have some news that came out today, specifically that Beijing is evaluating the U.S. offer to negotiate on 145% tariffs. Again, Microsoft up a little bit this morning. Microsoft, Meta up 7% and 4% respectively. Jobless claims again yesterday showed a weak labor market with the highest jobless claims unemployment filings since February. Unemployment rate's expected to stay the same, but the non-farm payroll report is massive today. It's a big report. No, I mean, she got tested and she was negative for everything. So this is just some type of cold. I feel okay. I mean, I don't feel like I feel fine aside from my throat being sore and my nose being stopped up. All right, guys. We are sitting tight. Ugh. Yeah, all I know is my daughter had this. My daughter had this where she ran a fever for like 4 days. Everything was negative when she got tested, though, but she ran a fever for like 4 days. It was the same symptoms. It was like sore throat, stuffy nose, mild fever. It wasn't a high fever, and that's what mine is. Mine was like 100 yesterday. All right, so looking at our poll numbers, we're 50-50 split down the middle in what the market wants. The implications of the market wanting lower payrolls would be if the market fears inflation, they might want lower payrolls, right? Because higher payrolls might signal worse inflation problems. And if the market is in an inflation fearing, if the market is inflation fearing, they might not want higher payrolls because of that. A hot labor market signals worse inflation problems, not better. Now, vice versa, lower payrolls could signal less inflation problems, but also a weaker economy. And so the way I always look at payrolls is that if it's too low, it can typically be bad. If it's too high, it can typically be bad. And this is on the corner of Wednesday's prelim results came in way under expected. They showed up at like 60,000 versus 150,000 expected. And the market really did not like that. The market negatively reacted to that very quickly on Wednesday at 8:15 in the morning. We had a very big reaction from this. And again, it's because they showed up basically 50% lower than expected for payroll, showing economic weakness. And so, in my opinion, the market probably fears economic weakness a little bit more than too strong of a labor market. I think a hot labor market right now might show resilience, and that might be kind of a positive thing. But we don't really know, especially on the heels of, again, Wednesday's Nonfarm employment report that showed, weak numbers, basically. Yeah, so Beijing is weighing U.S. proposal to restart talks on the president's 145% tariff, signaling possibly phase rollbacks to ease supply chain costs. It was a beach. 37K for Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin has been surging up, almost up to 98,000. I want QE to start. I don't care how Powell needs to kick in the gear. Why? Why do you want economic stimulus to start? QE will cause massive inflation. Yeah, I mean, the quantitative easing that the Fed did in 2020 is part of the reason we had such bad inflation problems following it. And if you don't understand what this means for everybody at home, QE is a form of money printing in which the Fed creates bank reserves and then uses those bank reserves to basically like buy up a bunch of bonds, injecting liquidity into those markets and ultimately stimulating the economy. But the consequence of all that economic stimulus with low interest rates is inflation. And so, yeah, I don't know if we should do QE. In fact, we're actually still doing a form of QT, of quantitative tightening. We reduced it a little bit last meeting, but we're definitely not doing QE right now. We're doing QT, quantitative tightening. They reduced Treasury QT by 80% though last time, but they kept mortgage QT the same. So yeah, I really don't think we should do QE. I don't think we can save everything. QE is a desperate thing that you should do if we have like a recession or depression on our hands. And maybe you think we're there. I'm not saying we're not. I don't know. Yeah, so again, today at 8:30, the Bureau of Labor Statistics will release the April NFP non-farm payrolls report. They're forecasting anywhere between 135 and 130,000 jobs, down from March's 228, an unchanged unemployment rate of 4.2%. Average hourly earnings are expected to tick up to around 0.3% month over month, offering fresh insight into wage pressures as the Fed gauges inflation dynamics. That's a really interesting to watch for sure. Over the past 24 hours, weekly initial jobless claims jumped to 241,000, which is the highest reading for that since February, their highest level in 2 months, while continuing claims rose to 1.916 million, signaling some softening in the labor market backdrop ahead of today's report. In other trade policy, Beijing's commerce minister announced it is evaluating a U.S. proposal to hold talks on the president's 145% tariffs, marking a potential shift towards de-escalation. Yet he did warn against extortion and coercion, underscoring the delicate balance. Stock index futures edged higher on hopes of easing trade tensions and pending data today, lifting to the Nasdaq to its strongest levels since early April. Still, recent earnings weighed on sentiment. Apple slid 2.9% after warning of $900 million in tariff costs. Amazon fell 1.6% on weak outlook. Square dropped 21% on profit downgrade. Is Square down that much? Whoa. Weird. Square won't even pull up, dude. Look at that. Square won't even pull up on my charts. Where's Square at right now? Airbnb is down 4.5% following softer revenue guidance from Reuters. Keep an eye on how today's payroll print reshapes rates. All right, so we just did our daily news release. What do you think more liquidity means exactly? Yeah, no, it's definitely dilution. Trust me, I'm against QE right now. I don't think we should do QE at all. I don't think we, like, if we do QE, then we got, like, inflation problems on top of everything else as well. I'm with you. I don't think QE is the move right now. All right, so Apple dipping down a little bit. Somebody saying I'm missing Apple. I mean, I don't think Apple has put in any, like, super significant moves here. I mean, it did dip down some. Look at this. I think 206 is a big level as well. So Needham reiterated a buy on Apple, maintains 255 price target. That's probably what's moving Apple. All right, let's get a timer up. I don't think I have a timer right now. Apple said they will lose profit from tariffs in June. Yeah, no. Yeah, we did an update on that. Apple slid 2.9% after warning 900 million in tariff costs is what they think. So. $98.3 Bitcoin has major resistance plus the golden if it doesn't break through $9 trillion worth of national debt this year. We might try to trade a little bit. I'm gonna short into this. We've been too choppy for too long. I think we might break the choppy trend, but we'll see. We'll go the other way with it too. I just see Apple starting to flush down. Amazon is creeping back up though, so Amazon's doing good. Alright, we're going to take half of this off just to protect the trade. See if we get a move down here. We can hold the rest, maybe break even if we want. I want to add to this maybe. I will add to it and then use a very tight stop. Here's the 200 EMA. I want to see like a rejection underneath this level here, ideally. All right, we took half off. We can hold the rest break even now. All right, we're out. Got out the rest exactly break even. So made a little $15, $20 small, but building up a cushion on the day first. Does Bitcoin follow the market the other way around? It's somewhere in the middle, to be honest. Yeah, it's somewhere in the middle. Like, it depends on what's going on. If it's big economic reports, a lot of the time Bitcoin will follow the market in a macro sense. But it varies. Like, it depends on what's going on. Bitcoin will also move counter trend to the market, especially like the opposite of banks, because Bitcoin is used as a hedge against banks and maybe inflation to a certain extent as well. So in a lot of ways, Bitcoin can kind of be a different animal. All right, so the president is apparently taking away Harvard's tax-exempt status, according to TSL. Is NFP news out? No, so NFP news drops in an hour. We got a timer on the right side. I should have kept shorting this. The market has bounced. Look at how much the market bounces right here. 200 EMA, 200 EMA, 200 EMA, 200 EMA. And so, like, again, the levels I use are a mix of, like, support and resistance, milestone areas, isolation levels like this up here. Like, you can see how it's kind of isolated up there. It's a big candle wick, like everybody sees, and it's really, really obvious right here, like isolated levels. And then the 200 exponential and the previous closing price are really what I use. Yeah, gold's pumping up this morning as well. You can take a look at gold here. Yeah, we got ISM manufacturing at 10. We're going to cover all this stuff like we do. Yeah, so NFP news, again, you can see all the expected numbers right here. Unemployment's expected to stay the same at 4.2%. That's not really expecting like a big jump up or anything like that. It's pretty small, but the payroll report's big. It's something you want to watch. Oh, dude, I do not feel good, man. Oh, all right, look at this breakdown. I should have kept in my short, honestly. I should have stayed in my short because my short would have worked. I'd take Tylenol and or not Adderall and Advil, if my fever's really high. But I don't think my fever's high right now. Usually the way my body deals with this is that nighttime I typically get worse. The morning time I'm typically fine. So I can feel that I'm sick right now, but I don't think I'm running a fever. All right, so here's a breakdown here. We'll see if we get a little bounce up here, but I do think we might get choppiness. So I might buy this dip. All right, so we're in 3 contracts now. 3. I want to see a retracement back up though. This big red candles here. I'm gonna take half off there, another piece, and we're gonna get out the rest right there. So we got the retracement. We wanted it, we got it. So we love to see it. Yeah. Everybody's a little biased though, Faye. It's one thing you realize. And again, you guys, I try to be neutral about all of it. I'm very neutral politically. I really am. Honestly, there's some stuff I agree with that he's done. There's a lot of stuff I disagree with, you know. So I agree with some of the stuff. I disagree with him. I just dislike the whole realm of politics. It's too divisive. It really is. The whole thing's too divisive. And I try not to judge people for their political preferences. You know, definitely top 3 most neutral person ever. What's up, Julius? Yeah, positive vibes, Faye. That's right. That's right, Faye. I get it. Read that article. Apparently, retail outsmarted institutions this time. Yeah, just let people live, guys. Healing pain. Don't be so antagonistic, bro. I honestly believe with you in some ways in which you got to let a normal fever work out. That's your body fighting the illness. And so I agree with you in that, to be completely honest. But I don't care. If the fever gets too high, bro, I'm taking some Tylenol. But I haven't taken Tylenol this whole time I've been sick, and I did spike a little bit of a fever. And so I don't even disagree with you on that specific thing. But yeah, let's not be antagonistic, though, bro. Let me rant about being sick, and we'll all be okay, you know. John, what applications interface are you using to pull up? This is Top Step X. I need some high quality H2O. That's right. My guy. That's right. I'm drinking coffee right now. Coffee feels like it's helping. I feel like I might pay for it later, though, but it feels like it's helping. So healing pain, you're being a little antagonistic just because, man, people are clueless as to the human body. Goodness me. You know, this guy's probably on this, all for no other reason. Like, just chill, bro. Let's not be critical. Let's be happy here. Everything's okay. Honestly, caffeine does feel good right now. At least my coffee doesn't taste like sludge. Yeah, I'm trading the NASDAQ and the S&P. Do I want to buy 19.9s here? I kind of do. I think we're going to get choppiness leading into the NFP report. We'll try it. I didn't really get the good feel. How much am I up? I'm up a little bit on the day. All right, we got a little bounce up here. I'll hold it break even. If it turns on me, I'll get out. If it goes up enough, I'll add to this. We just added a little to it. We'll cut it break even if it turns on me. All right, we took a piece off. And we're out. Another good trade, honestly. We've been reading the market fairly well. What's up, Thomas? Is there a way to reach you? How dare you guys not give me at least 100 likes, bro? How dare you? The audacity of you guys watching this stream, bro. How many likes do we have? 90, bro. Listen, I'm not going to tell you 10 people to like this stream, but do it now. All right. Unemployment's typically pretty bad if it goes up too much, regardless of what's going on everywhere else. Hey, what's up, Yair? I am bullish on AMD for a few weeks. I like AMD as a company. I think AMD versus Intel. AMD's winning that race so far. Hey, thank you, Hunter. Appreciate it, brother. Thanks for all the work you put into giving us these live streams and news. Hey, thank you, brother. Hey, thank you, good news. Appreciate it. This song goes hard, dude. I like this song. Like, I was listening to it multiple times yesterday. You know, I like this song. It's Dylan Sitz. He also does Rain Check. This guy also does the Rain Check song. Thought inflation down, unemployment up is good. If not, be stagflation. Well, yeah, inflation down's almost always good. Unless we have like a super hyper weak economy. You know, but even still, I think inflation being low is pretty good. You know, base case, I think inflation being low is okay. You know what I mean? Like, inflation being down is generally pretty good. The only thing, context, is if we have like a hella weak market and everybody's freaking out. And too low of inflation can mean like economic contractions and like weak economic situations. But in general, yeah, we want low inflation. Now, the payroll report's a little bit more nuanced than that, though. Like, the way I explained it earlier, the higher the payroll report, okay, I think slightly better payrolls is okay. Slightly worse payrolls is probably okay too. I think if inflation spikes and then payrolls come in 100% more than expected, that might make people panic. And vice versa, if GDP contracts and payrolls come in 50% worse than expected, that certainly might make the market panic right now. And I think we have to look at the context of the NFP report that we got on Wednesday called the Nonfarm Employment Change Report. They expected like 120K non-farm employment change report data. They ended up showing up at 62,000, so literally about 50% worse than expected. And the market did not like that at all. The market went down drastically, really, really quickly from that specific report. And so that's an important lens to look at today's payroll report under, is that the NFP prelim report from Wednesday came in way under expected, and the market did not like that. And I think that makes sense too. I think that's the most sensible thing in a market in which like we have GDP coming down, you know, a lot of fears about recessions and depressions. A lot of people think we're heading towards a recession right now. And I think in that context, really weak payroll numbers might add to that, if that makes sense. So that's what I'm looking at. Economist Jim Grant says, quote, at the turn of the last century, prices for all goods declined, which allowed people to live better lives. They didn't call it deflation back then. They called it progress, end quote. Yeah, I've said it once. I'll say it again. I'm okay with going into a little mini recession if it means we have price stability. 100%. I've been saying this for 2 years now. I'm okay with that. I would rather that, personally, than inflation spiking up to 10% again. If inflation spikes up to 10%, personally, I have a lot bigger problems. That means I'm losing 10% of my income, to inflation. I don't want that. I would much rather us going to a mini recession, and those are some of the only times that prices literally go down, that inflation actually decreases versus just slowing. But that's my own personal subjective preference, right? Like, I don't think I would rather price stability happen without needing that. But my point is, I fear inflation more than economic weakness by far. And that's only because we've had so much price increases in 5 years from the QE that we did in 2020, the supply chain problems of 2020, all the other stuff that happened then. Inflation got really bad, and we're still dealing with those high prices. So we have some earnings this morning. It's nothing really big. We got like Chevron and Exxon Oil earnings. CVX down. Exxon, XOM flat. Yeah, Kay, I don't think blaming one political side. I think what happened in 2020 is just kind of, I think it's just kind of a crazy event that happened, no matter what happened. Like if Powell didn't come in and do QE, people would probably be complaining about that too. And so I think people would be unhappy regardless of it. Yeah. So taking a look at Apple. Apple down a little bit. I hear about Square block, but it won't even let me pull this chart up right now. Weird. Look at that 200 exponential moving average right here. Reject this price action. I'm worried we're going to get choppiness, to be honest, right now. Leading into this report. We got 45 minutes. I'm worried we're going to get straight choppiness. All right, looking at our poll, 53% think the market wants higher. 47% think lower. I typically think they want higher, but I think we'll come in slightly lower. Personally, I really don't know, though. I'm just straight up guessing, but I'm guessing we're going to come in slightly lower. Yeah, I tend to feel like that, SO. That's kind of how I feel. I think once you get to the top, they're all the same anyway, All right, so we did reject right there at the 200 exponential. I don't know if I should buy this and attack like a bounce back up to retest this level, or whether I think we're going to come back down and retest this here. Well, there's some red. I'll try to buy this. It's kind of a risky buy, but I just want to see if we head back up and retest this area. I'm going to cut this. We got out a very small loss. We got out a $5 loss. Where's Robinhood at? Robinhood had a really good reaction to their earnings, didn't they? Oh, they didn't actually hold. Hey, what's up, Ride? Honestly, I think I would have made money here. We'll try to buy it again. We'll add to it too, but see, I think we're gonna get choppy ahead of this report. Like, I think we might go up and down. And we're green on the day. We can take a little bit of risk. I don't want to hold too long. We'll hold the wrist flat, maybe. It's very small range. Is the music too loud? I can turn it down some if that helps. What do I want to do here? Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut it too. We're still green, I think, on the day. Yeah, we're still green. We'll have to figure it out. What are non-farm payrolls? That's jobs. Non-farm payrolls is the job report. Yeah, the NFP report's the job report. It's the labor report that goes live. Unemployment also drops at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Is the music good, guys? I get different. I got people saying different things regarding my music. Is the music good or not loud enough? All right. We just got a little scalp in our other trade. Honestly, this trade, I'm getting faked out too much. Remember, I wanted up to here. I bought it down here, and I wanted this move. Up to the 200 exponential. Should have called it. I did catch it in another account, by the way. So I'm actually green a little bit in another account just riding that move. But still, wish I would have caught that move. I don't know which one's better. I'll let other people judge that. You know, I don't freaking know, man. Both of them the top 3 worst ever. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, I know my voice is loud. I turned it up loud. And my choppy thesis was right, too. I thought we would chop sideways. I don't have advice, JL. I don't even know what advice is, bro. Fees in trading, Top Step X has tiny amount of fees and no commissions. So you just got to find good platforms that have less fees. It's about as easy as that. But everybody's different in what you consider low fees. All right, so look at this rip up. We're at 930s. Yeah, I'm trading futures contracts right now. Amazon is creeping back up, though. Look at Amazon up here. So Amazon's been moving big back up. Let's see where the previous closing price is for Amazon. So, yeah, we're right under that previous close for Amazon. Look at it. It's at 190.20 for Amazon, 190.20. So we'll see if that one moves. All right, guys. So we did reject this 200 exponential again. Kind of in a range. We got about 37 minutes left. I have both. Hey, thank you, JL. Appreciate it, bro. Thank you, sir. Yeah, we got some Top Step tutorials. Just go check out our videos. I'm not a big video uploader. Most of the time I am a live streamer, but we do a little bit of both, though. All right, so we did reject the 200 exponential right here. Look at that. Still sideways, still flat. Look at that red show up. Running right into that previous resistance. Yeah, y'all go give Beach Bum a subscribe. He's got some good swing trading content. There's his channel right there in the chat. All right, so we did dip down some. So GTA 6 is delayed to March 26th, 2026. Take-Two falls 10% in pre-market after GTA 6 is delayed to next year. A full year delay. Look at it this morning. They said GTA would be out this year and it wasn't. So Take-Two just dropped a huge percentage. They dropped about 20% all the way down to 200s. They're back up to 214, so it's lesser of a percentage, but wow. Yeah, they delayed GTA 6 again. Like, I played GTA 5 a lot, like 5, 6, 7 years ago with my friends. But it's been so long since I actually played it. I'm not really one of those people. Like, I want to play GTA 6, but not that much. Like, I don't care that much about it. Yeah, it was highly anticipated. Enough to tank the stock. Look at Take-Two, TTWO. Look at that drop. So, yeah, definitely highly anticipated. I don't know. I don't really watch other traders, Olivia, to be completely honest. So who's the greatest traders of all time? I don't freaking know, bro. I don't really watch others like that. I'm more of a sports video game. Like, I play UFC 5. I play MLB The Show, you know. I play GTA 2. I play Halo. There's rumors that it's going to come out for a new PlayStation. That a new PlayStation is going to come out prior. I don't know if it's dropping the NQ. I think the Nasdaq's just choppy right now. Hey, here's the SPY. I think the Nasdaq's just flat, kind of boring. I think payrolls come out today, and a lot of the time leading into these payroll reports, the market's a little bit apprehensive and sideways and boring. And so I think that's what's going on. I have no idea if the market's going to go up or down. You can vote on our poll and participate in it. Here, we'll ask people that now. Does today's NFP non-farm payroll report show up higher or lower than the, well, what's expected? 133K expected. Higher, lower, as expected. Slash, I don't know. Vote on that poll. Let me know how you feel. Honestly, the market's really choppy and sideways as we wait for this report. Yeah, for sure, Darren. That's what I think too. Console gaming is a scam. I don't think so at all. I'm a PC nerd, hardware nerd as well, right? Like I've got a 49-inch ultra wide monitor. Love it, honestly. But I think the reason people use consoles is because it's a lot less work. Yeah, you can get a PC and you're gonna need to update all this different things that come out on that PC. You're gonna need to just do a lot of updates. A lot of people like using controllers as well. I know that you can use controllers for PC, but it's a lot more complex managing a PC day to day than it is managing a console. And so if you want an easy plug and play, people go to consoles for that reason. Right. Yeah, I think most Dollar Trees will inevitably fail. I've said this once. I said this about a year ago. People got mad at me for talking about Dollar Trees. But I do think that will inevitably fail. And maybe I'm wrong. But I think Dollar Trees... I think the problem with them is that most of the things that you buy at Dollar Trees are now bought on Amazon. I think mostly the older population shops at these dollar stores versus the younger population. And over time, they're going to get older and older and have less capability of actually going to the stores versus young people who most of the time in turn are going to just buy off of Amazon and other mail order shipping things. And I think over time, commercial real estate is going to become much less used for stuff like this. Online is going to become much more used, and that's bad for Dollar Tree, Dollar General, And I think the only places that still heavily use Dollar Tree justifiably and Dollar General justifiably are like very small towns that don't have Amazon warehouses nearby. But I think the net effect of that over time is going to be they're going to decrease and decrease and decrease in their sales, and eventually they're all going to shut down. Personally, is what I think. Maybe I'm wrong. It's the same thing like Big Lots bankrupt. What was it? Bed Bath and Beyond bankrupt. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these stores went bankrupt because people don't shop at them anymore. And I think we're going to see a very similar thing with Dollar Tree, regardless of short-term like price movements. Yeah, brick and mortar stores are going to be struggling. And maybe I'm wrong. I might be wrong. Like, this is just my own opinion of it. I think a lot of people invest in some of these, and so they're like really emotionally attached to Dollar Tree for some reason. And I had this guy that liked Lululemon in my stream for a long time, and I tried to tell him, bro, Lululemon, the problem is that Lululemon is too fashion brand. Like, trends change, styles change, businesses change. And so while Lululemon might be the cool, hot thing that young people are using, styles change. Like, Lululemon got big in 2020 when everybody was stuck at home. And so the leisure wear style was big back then. But styles change, trends change. Very rare, like, unless you're a legacy clothing brand like Nike or something like that, most of the time these clothing brands don't succeed. When I grew up, we used a lot of Hollister, preppy collared shirts, Abercrombie, Hollister, you know what I mean? And now those stores are basically useless. Nobody shops at them anymore. Their sales have gone down, down, down. I don't care what Abercrombie's doing. Something's weird about Abercrombie. Anyway, but yeah, Abercrombie has lost huge sums of value. Not a shock, to be honest. But that's my point, is that fashions and trends change. Eventually, Lululemon there's going to be another hot new brand for young people, and they're not going to like it as much anymore. And that's a risky investment for me long term. When I'm looking at stocks long term, I have to do the same thought experiment, which is, what does this look like in 20 years? Right? When I look at Lululemon, I think it could be around. It's possible it could be around. But I think there's a chance as well that it's not, and that people stop buying it and they go to some other new brand that they like and use. And it just hasn't been around long enough to justify long-term investments for me personally. But again, that's just me. Maybe I'm wrong here too. But I said this whenever Lululemon was at like $400 or $500. It's now down 50% relative to where I said that. So I wasn't wrong so far, at least. We'll see what happens though. I like Home Depot as a stock as well, Nick. And the reason I like Home Depot as a stock is because it is much more immune to that mail order obsolescence aspect of brick and mortar businesses. Like, it's much more immune. Like, you don't go buy wood online. You go buy wood at Home Depot. You don't go buy plants online. Not really. You go buy plants at Home Depot. Trust me, my wife, I've nicknamed her the plant murderer, and she buys plants all the time. And she never orders them online. She goes to freaking Home Depot or Lowe's or farmers markets and buys plants that way. She never orders them online. And so Home Depot, I think, has resilience in stocks. There she is. The plant murderer is here. No, you're not the plant murderer anymore. You're actually doing good. You actually flooded. Oh, our water bill's $900. What? Yeah. Yeah, $900 is like $912 or something like that.
Well, I'll bump it down.
Yeah.
It's running every day because I was trying to get those plants established before it got too hot.
Yeah.
And I left the water running. I forgot.
Yeah, I told him about that. She flooded our backyard with water, but all right, guys. So, does she lose water privileges? Maybe. Yeah, so we figured out what the water bill is. Hey, guys, we got 25 minutes. Subscribe, hit the notification bell. We appreciate it. Yeah, I had a talk with her. So basically, we just got our front yard redone. We got all these flowers and stuff put in our front yard now. And so, new sprinkler system installed. Like, that's probably what all this was. She also left the hose on and forgot about it for a day or two. Yeah, so anyways, we're very choppy and sideways leading into this payroll report. The S&P 500 is not looking bad, though. Like, here's a long-term chart. Here's a weekly chart on the S&P. The weekly chart really doesn't look that bad right here. So this is where we're currently at in the SPY. NASDAQ just popped over the 200 exponential here. Higher payrolls mean stronger economy, yes. But it could also mean inflation problems. Like, that's one of the lenses you want to look at this report under, is that, like, if it's too high, it might mean inflation problems. The market still might not like it. I think the market's going to fear a low inflation or a low payroll report today, though, because I think, again, on Wednesday we reported at 8:15 in the morning the non-farm employment change numbers coming in 50% under the expected. So they showed up at like 62,000 versus 120 something expected, 115 expected. And so with that, you know, the market negatively reacted to that and panicked. And so that's kind of how I'm looking at this payroll report under. I have no freaking idea what's going to happen. It might come in wildly over or under anything I think here. But that's the lens I'm looking at this report under, is like, hey, the market negatively reacted to a weak payroll prelim report on Wednesday, and maybe we'll get the same thing today. I don't know. Oh, it's definitely not a joke. The water bill? Definitely not a joke. It does say possible leak. Water bill. See, my last bill was $341 for March. For April, it's $912, bro. Up 170% basically here. You know, you don't love to see it. Look at the NASDAQ bounce back up, though. So the NASDAQ's climbing higher here. We got a little bit over 20 minutes left. So we are running back, so we'll see if we hold. Yeah, the prelim payroll numbers, again, which they're just prelim numbers. They're a little bit different. Like, the difference between the non-farm payroll report and, like, others is that this shows government payrolls. The non-farm payroll report shows government payrolls as well coming along with it. And so we're going to see both aspects of payroll report in about 20 minutes here. And we got ISM data coming out later on too, but yeah, non-farm payrolls, they get expected at anywhere between 130 to 140K. Unemployment expected at 4.2%, but we're also going to see private non-farm payrolls. We're going to see government payrolls. Last time government payrolls were 19,000. Today we don't really have an expected number. Average hourly earnings year over year expected at 3.9%. And then later on today we got we got durable we got factory orders at 10, but it's really not that big. All right, NASDAQ's pump it up, guys. Pump it up. Yeah, I mean, prelim can show what the actual might look like, but sometimes they're wildly different too. Yeah, but does the White House have a pool, Brian? That's all I'm saying. All right, so we're still bouncing up a little bit. I almost want to buy this dip here. If we dip enough, I will buy this with 20 minutes left leading into the payroll report. All right, the big moves, Apple, Amazon. Remember, jobless claims unemployment yesterday showed up at the highest level since February in 2 months. The highest jobless claims, which is a week-to-week unemployment filing report. That showed up at the highest level in 2 months. We will buy a larger dip here if we get it, but we need a larger dip down to I would like 35s. We might not get it. Oh, well. I think if non-farm payrolls are bad, it will dump in the... Yeah, I mean, we had some good news and optimistic news for tariffs. We did. So we had yeah, so again, in trade policy, Beijing's commerce minister announced it is evaluating a U.S. proposal to hold talks on President's 145% tariffs, marking a shift towards potential de-escalation. Yet they did warn against extortion and coercion, underscoring the delicate balance here. But that's optimistic. If they're talking about it, they're talking about it. We'll see if we get anything good. All right, we're gonna buy this. We got a little cushion on the day. Hey, what's up, Tidy? Good morning, good morning. Yeah, we'll see what Apple does. We'll see what Amazon does. Both reported earnings yesterday. We had Meta, Microsoft earnings as well. We got 17 minutes left. 17 minutes. I mean, did they block any women? I don't think they did, I think you're just making stuff up to try to be, you know, trollish, I'm guessing. Or you might be talking about a different channel. I don't think we blocked any you know, we got a lot of women here that are supporters of the channel, that stick around and support the channel, to be honest. All right, I'm going to add to this. 2 contracts here. We got a little cushion on the day. I just want to see if we bounce right here. So, I mean, give some examples or, you know. Or you're just making stuff up. Probably talking about a different channel, though. Oof, there's a nasty drop here. Yeah, I gotta cut it. So we're flat on the day now after that loss. You don't really love to see it, but it's okay. We did bounce right there at the 200 exponential. Maybe I should have attacked that. The question is, what do we do leading into this report? Well, the blue line's the 200 exponential, so honestly, I was assuming it might hold some support, but it's you know. The way the internet is, every good green trade, you're a genius. Every red trade, you're a gambler. You know, that's just how the internet is, I think. Yeah, there's Olivia. All right, so I mean, if he doesn't give me any examples, I'm gonna ban him real quick. Maybe I could have held this a little bit longer. See, I think I just got stopped out here. It would have worked. If we get another pullback, I'll buy into it. Okay, we'll try. We'll add one more to this. Give it a little time to retrace back up there. There we go. There we go. All right, we got out a little bit more there. That's nice. Terrible fills. I have to add to this now. Bad fills on that last little piece. We would have made money, but it's all right. That's better. All right, we took that off now too. The better fill than that last one though. Yeah. I gave him a chance to respond and we just didn't get one. We got 13 minutes, chat. 13 minutes. Amazon is about tariffs. What's up, Smart? Central Time 7:30. Yeah, we got like 13 minutes left, give or take. Market's kind of losing its steam, though. I'm going to cut this break even and just wait. Market's just kind of losing its steam. It's very sideways right now. The report comes out at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, 7:30 Central. So we got 12 minutes.
This has been sold. When you checked when we went to Louisiana, this was, did you say it was sold out then?
All right, guys. Amazon is about tariffs. Well, I mean, during their earnings call, they spoke about, so it's a little bit of both, to be honest. All right, so we're getting a little red here in the NASDAQ. I kind of want to buy this again, but I'm going to wait. You still got a little bit of time until this report drops. Yeah, so it's the non-farm payroll report and unemployment report is what drops today. Yeah. I should have bought it. Market's chopping down. Again, guys, very big report today. Very big report. We got 10 minutes left. Hit the live button next to the play button. Hit the subscribe button as well and hit the like button. Hey, buddy, I love you, dude. I'm not feeling good, okay? I love you, buddy. Love you, dude. I'd give you a hug. I don't think you want a hug from me right now, buddy. I love you, buddy, okay? Have a good day, man. All right, guys. 10 minutes. 10 minutes. I'm going to buy this here. We'll take some size. I'm trying to take some bigger size here, but buying it very close to the 200 EMA. See if we pop back up. All right, guys, 9 minutes left. Hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're fully caught up on stream here, chat. Very sideways range, very neutral range. The market's kind of waiting for this report to drop, in all honesty. Very flat range. Again, the non-farm payroll report expected at 135K or so today. 135, 140,000. There we go. We took a piece off. Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm in Texas, so it's 7:21 right now, Texas time. So, depends on where you're at, but yeah, I'm in Texas right now. Look at the range. The range is tiny in the NASDAQ right now, just kind of waiting for this report to drop. Depends on what you guys think the NASDAQ's going to give us here on this report. Again, I think the market probably fears lower. Probably fears lower, but who freaking knows, man? You know. 8 minutes, chat. 8 minutes. Very small range. There we go. All right, we got out right at the top. All right, we're basically flat on the day again, which is good. And we'll add to this, see if we get it back. There we go. The market's really undecisive. We made money on the trade, but like, we're basically flat on the day now. I don't know what I want to do with these last little 2 contracts. Getting bad fills. I think my range is a little bit too tight, but it's all good. There we go. All right, we're flat on the day. All right, chat. 6.5 minutes, really. Amazon got bought up. Yeah, Amazon helping the market right now. Look at this. Amazon just almost went green on the day. The previous closing price for Amazon is 190.2. So almost went green on the day. Experts are saying large drop today. I don't think this is predictable. So I don't think it's predictable in terms of what we're going to get from this NFP report. I don't know what we're going to get. I know the prelim NFP data that showed up on Wednesday came in noticeably lower than expected, 50% worse than expected, and the market freaked out and panicked. And so I don't know what this report is going to show. I really don't. I don't know if it's going to be good, bad. I don't know if it's going to be high, low. I don't know. I think the market fears really weak payrolls because a lot of people think we're heading towards a recession right now. Yeah, I mean, I did have a profit target. My profit target was around this level here. And so we tried to buy it here and get out around here and attack this little mini range, considering payrolls are about to drop, and that's a really sideways kind of thing. But very small little scalpy kind of trade. Hey, nice, Jorge or George. Fubo. I don't like Fubo as a stock at all. All right, guys, 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Tune in. We get thousands of people here because we cover it quickly. And so stick around. Sub. Hit the notification bell. We appreciate it. We'll see what we get here. We're getting very close to this report now, guys. We got less than 5 minutes. Yeah, GTA 6, TTWO, Take-Two Entertainment down a big percentage after GTA was delayed basically a straight year. Like, look, here's TTWO right now. Look at that drop from the delayment of GTA 6. Again, in payroll news, chat, just to give you guys another rundown of everything. All right, over the past 24 hours, weekly initial jobless claims jumped to 241,000. 241K, the highest level in 2 months. Continuing claims rose to 1.916 million, softening in the labor market backdrop. In trade policy, Beijing's commerce minister announced it's evaluating a proposal by the U.S. to hold talks on the 145% tariffs, maybe de-escalation coming there. Stock index futures edged higher in hopes of easing trade tension. We have pending jobs data today, and the prelim data did show up weaker than expected, guys, weaker than expected. So be ready. We got about 2,000 people here. We still got about 4 minutes left. So stick around, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm going to put like gold up and maybe like bond yields up here. Bond yields opened up basically completely flat. I want to see how these move with payrolls and jobs. See what maybe the inflation worries are from this labor market report. We got 3.5 minutes. All right, guys, just be ready. 3.5 minutes. Three minutes, and we're gonna do a countdown again. With the reason we get thousands here is because we cover it quickly. So stick around. Today's the last big report of the week, and then next week we got the Fed meeting. So it's an even bigger week next week. Unemployment expected to stay the same at 4.2%. Do you guys want higher or lower payrolls today, chat? Looking at our poll, 41% think we're going to show up lower than expected out of about 1,000 votes. 35% think higher, 12% as expected, 12% said, I don't know. Again, we got non-farm payrolls in about 2.5 minutes. Yeah, buy or sell right now. Buy or sell. 2.5 minutes, chat. Higher, lower, cuts for lower. All right, guys, we got 2 minutes. 2 minutes. We'll see what we get. You can see all the expected numbers right here on screen, and we're going to cover them quickly here. All right, guys. Be ready. Non-farm payrolls unemployment report goes live. A minute and a half, chat. 1.5 minutes. Here we go. Hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're fully caught up on stream. The report is about to go live. Again, hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're fully caught up on stream. Again, non-farm payrolls expected about 138. Government payrolls, another big story today. Last time showed up at 19,000. Private non-farm payroll showed up at 124. Unemployment rate expected at 4.2%. Here we go. Less than 1 minute, chat. Less than 1 minute. Again, hit the live button next to the play button, chat. Less than 1 minute here. We'll see what we get. Again, I think if it's deeply low, it's going to invoke panic. If it's super high, it might invoke panic as well. Again, hit the live button next to the play button. Catch up. 30 seconds, chat. 30 seconds. Somebody get a drum roll out here. All right, 15 seconds. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Here's the report. Non-farm payrolls showed up at 177K. 177K, higher than expected. 177K versus 130s expected. Unemployment showed up as expected at 4.2%. Private payrolls are what boosted this number at 167 versus 124 expected. Higher than expected non-farm payrolls. Average hourly earnings went down to 0.2% month over month and 3.8% year over year. Non-farm payrolls, again, 177K versus 138K, 135K, 133K expected. Stronger payrolls, and the market loved this report. Loved this report. It wasn't hot enough to make inflation fears, but it was better than expected to cause a positive response in markets, especially after weak prelim data. Market is up big on this report. Again, 177 versus 138 expected. We cover it before everybody else. Hit the subscribe button. You know you want to right now. 177 versus 130, 133 expected. We'll put this data up on screen here. And, yeah. There's the release right here. You can see it right here at the bottom of the screen. Private payrolls, again, is the reason this report came in higher than expected. We had government payroll show up at 10K. Government payroll showed up at 10K. Non-farm payroll showed up at 177 versus 130 expected. Private payroll showed up at 167, which is the cause of this boost. 167 versus 124 expected. Look at the market run right now. Bond yields spiking up here. Bond yields spiking up probably because of inflation worries and less economic risks and less need to cut rates. But again, the market is surging right now. Surging. Wow. Again, unemployment 4.2% as expected. Private payrolls 167 versus 120s. Non-farm payrolls 177 versus 138. Way better than expected. Way stronger than expected here for non-farm payrolls. 177 versus 130 expected. Much stronger than expected here. So very strong non-farm payroll report, and the market likes it. We're over 20,000. Now, I'll buy a 20,000 dip here. Sometimes the first move is the wrong move, but this is a big move here. So we'll try to trade this, guys. And again, if you want to trade with me, check out Top Step. Great way to learn how to day trade. Most day traders lose money. And so if you fund your own account, thousands, you know, you'll probably lose thousands of dollars. Let's just be honest here. Top Step gives you a 50K demo. They teach you how to trade under a structured environment. And if you pass their test, you got to make 3K on the base one without losing 2K. They fund you 50K, 90% split. If you fail this, you're out $50 for the base one. It's not the end of the world. So it's limited risk. If you fail it, you lose a small amount, and you learn how to trade risking something. But if you pass it, you get a 90% split. You get to keep your first 10K, and they paid out millions. In the futures market, you can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the Russell, gold, some currencies. I'll pin this to the top of the chat. Understand CFTC 4.41, hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations, guys. I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose money. Always make your own assessment. Trade responsibly, guys. Understand all this stuff on screen. I don't even claim to be a good trader. We did just buy this dip. We might add to it up down to 20K. Take a little risk here because of this payroll report. All right, we got 2 micros. Let's see if we get a pop back up. Payroll data was pretty strong here, but we are dipping down. We got 3 contracts. Let's see if we pop back up. I want to see if we bounce at 20 is what I want. 4, 5. Almost flat. I'm going to reduce some of the size up here now because I can. All right, so we bounced right off at 20. Maybe I should have waited to buy 20 even, but it's all right. There we go. We got a little bit of a bounce. We're going back and forth, but again, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. I just pinned top steps at the top of the page if you want to check it out. I want to take a little bit of profit, but we need some bigger range here, to be honest. There we go. That's bigger range. Yes, sir. All right, good. We'll add to this one now, too, see if we can keep going up. There we go. We'll take another piece off up there, and we'll get out the rest right there. So we made some on that trade. We made some. We'll see if we buy another dip towards 20K here. We'll have to add to it, maybe. All right, Payrolls out very strong. Shows economic resilience. There we go. Let's see if we get over that high. All right, we are now effectively green on the day here. Green on the day. We'll see if we buy another 20,000 dip. So we are now effectively green on the day. All right, we're going to end this poll now. And we're going to ask another poll. Get ready to vote on this poll, guys. So we're going to ask another poll. Does the NASDAQ hold the gains it just made from the NFP report? Yes or no? Does the NASDAQ hold the gains it just made from the NFP report today? Let me know how you feel. I'm sick. Oh, well, you can't get sick. I mean, it's up to you. I love you. Have a good day. I love you. Sorry. Headbutt you. I love you. Have a good day. Yeah, my daughter got me sick. So I was going to not hug her, but then I was like, well, you got me sick, so you can hug me now. Can't catch the same thing twice. Meta's ripping up right now, guys. Very strong report. Very strong report. Yeah. Let's see what the rate cut odds are looking like after this report, guys. And stick around. We will be day trading towards the opening bell, but let's see what the rate cut odds are looking like after this report. Ooh, look at even less likely we're going to cut rates. It's about 95 to 5% right now in terms of rate cuts for, it's about 94 to 6% likelihood of a rate cut, or of a pause, I'm sorry, by May next week. This report happens next week. Let's look at June's numbers here. 52% chance of a cut in June. 52% chance of a cut in June as of now. NASDAQ still pumping up. Looks good. A lot of blue chip stocks are ripping up right now. Again, we need 100 subscribers to break 160,000. Look at this surge up here, guys. So I'm not going to pressure you to subscribe, but do it now. Everything we do here is free. I don't sell a course, don't sell a service, don't even claim to be a good trader. Trade for free, cover economic data faster than everybody else. There's a reason we get thousands of people tune in for the big reports. So subscribe, hit the notification bell. We need 100 of you, to hit the subscribe button. Help me hit 160,000 today. Do it now. We still got over 2,000 viewers here. I know, Lolo, you see that. I was saying I never get sick last week, or like a couple days ago, and then punished. Woke up sick the next day. Yeah, 160K. I'm excited about it, Keegan. Hey, thank you, bro. Where's Bitcoin at? Gold is down a little bit on this report. Bitcoin. Look at the NASDAQ pump here, guys. Wow. NASDAQ pumping up right now. Whoa. Look at this move for the NASDAQ. I wanted to buy 20K. Look how well that... I should have held it. I got to have more confidence in my trades. Remember, I wanted to buy the pullback to 20,000 just because it's like a huge psychological level. Like 20,000 is freaking 20,000. Everybody's paying attention to that big level of 20K. Big even level like that. I wanted to buy the pullback, and it did. And look at how nice that pullback would have worked. I mean, I made a little bit of money, but I got out here. I could have never imagined it would pump up this much from 20, though. So I'm not mad about my trade. I got green on the day from it. But I do have a little bit of FOMO, I think, right now, based off of this huge bounce exactly at 20,000. We literally bounced exactly where I wanted it to bounce. So, it's all right. Yeah, well, I was bragging because I started training BJJ, like jiu-jitsu, and this is the first time I've been sick in 2 years. And you would think that because jiu-jitsu is such a close proximity physical sport, you would get sick more training jiu-jitsu. But for whatever reason, I got sick much less. This is the first time I've been sick in 2 years. I'm a blue belt. No, I'm not going to beg you guys to... honestly, I make enough running this channel to beg for donations. Like, I don't need to beg for donations here. Market's still going up. Yeah, we got factory orders coming out. I don't know how big they are, that report is, but we'll cover it nonetheless. Yeah, we got factory orders at 10. They're expected at 4.3%, 4.3%. Although when we look at the factory orders report, that's not really like a big showing of a big report. Like expected at 4.3, 4.4%. I don't know how big, I don't know how much that's going to influence markets. Yeah, but jiu-jitsu's stressful, but it's really fun. And I'm one of those people that, like, you got some people that train and they're really scared and like they don't like rolling and they don't like sparring with people in jiu-jitsu and they just kind of like avoid it and just kind of learn the moves. I am the exact opposite. It's really hard. Like, I have ADHD, and so my brain is like, hey, go to the most exciting thing possible, and that's always sparring with somebody. And so I have a really hard time flow rolling with people because my adrenaline spikes and I get so excited about it. But yeah, really fun, really fun. One of my favorite things that I've learned over the last few years is jiu-jitsu for sure. CPI. So looking at markets here now, chat. Next week, we got ISM services, trade deficit, the FOMC meeting, jobless claims, and more. The week after next, we have CPI inflation data going live too. So it's a busy couple weeks too. Next week's the Fed meeting. The week after next is a big meeting, is a big week as well with CPI inflation data going live too. So yeah, like I said earlier, Ray said, hey John, why is the report from Wednesday not connecting today? Because it's just not that easy, brother. It's just not that. I wish it was. I said this once today already, but that, and again, I'm not meaning it in a condescending way. I hope it doesn't come off that way. But like what I said earlier is absolutely true, which is that sometimes the prelim NFP report shows one thing and the payroll report shows another. You know, and then sometimes they'll correlate with each other and they'll parallel each other, where we'll have like weak non-farm employment, weak payrolls. But other times, like this time, we had a really, really weak prelim NFP report. The difference is, you know, I don't know. Let me look this up. Inflation up, wages up, unemployment up, GDP down, interest rates up. Doesn't seem like a good formula. Well, in a market that fears a recession, stronger payrolls than expected is a good thing, right? And it's not just stronger than expected. The 170 whatever number, what did they show up at? 177 number is good. It's not bad, right? Like it's about what they were last time, a little bit less, but about what they were. And this is with the landscape and the lens of like all the tariff stuff going on right now. It's just an optimistic thing to have stronger payrolls right now versus weak payrolls. Weak payrolls would exacerbate the fear of economic slowdown. Right, like that's what I said earlier. I think the market doesn't want weak payrolls. But I think as long as it's not like wildly over, the market would react positively to stronger payrolls. If it came in at like 270s, then I think the market's going to freak out because of inflation of like such a strong like payroll print. But coming in like, you know, a reasonable 30 or 40K over expected, I think that's the perfect number to make the market go up like it did. Right. One of the things I said earlier is like, I think the report, if it comes in way under expected, market's not going to like it. If it comes in way, way higher than expected, market's not going to like it because of inflation fears. So I think the number it came in at actually came in pretty good. And again, understand, like non-farm employment data from Wednesday comes from household survey of about 60,000 households. So it counts the number of people who say they are employed regardless of whether they're on a payroll. So it includes self-employed, unpaid family workers, agricultural workers, and stuff like that. NFP, on the other hand, comes from established payroll surveys of 146,000 businesses and government agencies. It counts the number of jobs on actual employer payrolls, excluding farm workers, which is why it says non-farm. So that's the difference between the non-farm employment Wednesday numbers coming in way under expected, because people are self-reporting that. And basically people are full of it right now. Non-farm payrolls come from actual documented payrolls on the books, right? So that's the difference. Basically, one is a survey. The other is actual. That's the difference. Can we sustain high payrolls in these conditions? Well, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, it's still lower than last month, but it was much better than expected. And I think if it comes in similar to last month, which it did, last month non-farm came in at 185. Today they came in at 177. Very similar report. With the landscape and the lens of the tariff stuff going on, I think that's a good thing. Coming in basically flat month to month is good right now. We don't want to see a big contraction. That might make the market panic. And so I think this is one of the, this is one of the easier reports to read, personally. Yeah, all good, Ray. I would say the expected figures are more important, but it varies. Depends on what it is. All right, so we're too close to the top here for me to really be super hyper focused on like buying any of this right now. This is too close to the top for me to be super focused on buying any of this. Again, if you haven't already, check out Top Step. Again, great way to learn. We are day trading on Top Step today. And it's just a good way to learn. Like almost all day traders lose money in the beginning. I know I deposited. What happened with me, and it was a blessing, right? I'll tell the story. I started trading in 2016, almost a decade ago. What happened was that I thought I watched a bunch of day trading marketing, and I thought I was gonna be some type of genius trader savant making $100K a month within a couple weeks. And so I put my little $4,000 to work, and Carol begged me not to do it. She was like, John, don't freaking do it. And I did it, and I lost that $4,000 trying to day trade stocks within like 3 freaking weeks. I almost cried. I was so upset. $4,000 at the time was so much money to me. 10 years ago, so much money to me at the time. But I started this day trading channel on YouTube, and I started documenting my trades, and I wanted to be kind of the opposite of a guru. So I ended up calling myself beginner trading and just kind of reporting like my trading in the beginning, like how it was for new traders in the beginning. And eventually this channel grew into a huge, income source and community, which is great. I appreciate you guys. I really do. But I lost thousands in the beginning. And I think like Top Step is really useful. It's the only sponsor I really have because I think it's incredibly useful for new traders. Instead of depositing 10, 20K, 30K, some traders, 4,000 for me or whatever, you can risk $50. And if you pass it, great. You get a funded account, 90% split. You learn how to trade under pressure in a structured environment. If you fail, you're out $50. It's not the end of the world. You're not losing 4 or 5K like I did or more like some other traders do. And so in that regard, I think it's incredibly useful. But I'm biased because, like I said, they're an affiliate or sponsor of mine. I'm biased for sure, but genuinely useful. If you want to check it out, again, there's the link. Yeah, I don't know. I think both countries need each other, Jonathan. So Jonathan says they have the leverage. I think both countries need each other. We are the largest buyer of Chinese goods in the world. The largest buyer of Chinese goods in the world, right? We account for over 10%, I think, of their manufacturing sales. So without us, they are losing their largest buyer of their goods. Okay, so we can act like they don't need us, and they can take a hard line approach, being like, oh yeah, they absolutely do not want to lose our business without question, right? They can say whatever they want. This is very self-evident. This is obvious. Nobody wants to lose their largest buyer of goods, regardless of what they say. But at the same time, we need them for sure as well, right? Like we need them for prices, right? Like we get cheap prices through them. A lot of the stuff we buy here is cheap, and we can afford things a little bit easier with their goods. And so they both need each other without question, right? We are the largest buyer for their manufactured goods, and they are our largest seller of manufacturing goods. So, Hey, thank you, Wesley. Appreciate it, brother. Yeah, but you say 12% like it's nothing, Jonathan. That is, at 12%, we are their largest buyer of manufacturing goods. You could look this up. Like, look, I can ask AI. Who is the largest buyer of Chinese goods? It's going to be us. The single largest buyer of Chinese goods is the United States by a wide margin, and 23 U.S. imports from China totaled roughly $500+ billion, making America's China's top export destination. For comparison, in February, China's next largest destination was Hong Kong at $21 billion. So we are their largest buyer at $500 billion in 2023. Their second largest was at $21 billion, just to put the difference into deep perspective there. Right, so again, we can act like they don't need us. Of course they do, right? Of course they do. And again, vice versa, we need them as well. And so because of those truths, I tend to think that we're going to get a deal done eventually. I know doom and gloom, market crash, and all this stuff. I tend to think we're going to get a deal done eventually. Who knows when that's going to be? But I tend to think we both need each other, and we're going to get a deal done. What's up? What's up, Sam? Sorry, I'm scrolling back. They have more negotiating power and propensity to endure suffering. Yeah, that's probably true, Sam. Do you mean Gordon Ryan, Thor? No, I don't know Gordon Ryan. He's the best grappler in the world. I don't know him. Nvidia pumping up right now, though, chat. Look at this. Look at the NASDAQ still move here. Bitcoin up a little bit. Look at Nvidia, though. Nvidia running. Bond yields are rising as well. Look at bond yields. Bond yields are going up too. All right, so we are dipping down a little bit here. J-Rod? You think J-Rod's a better grappler than Gordon? I mean, obviously he's not. Yeah, the 100 people versus a gorilla argument is very obvious. Like, bro. Anybody that thinks the gorilla wins versus 100 people, 100 men, y'all aren't logical. All right? Like, I get it, a gorilla's big and scary, and I understand this. Okay? I'm going to mute the music for a second so you guys hear me. I understand. The problem, though, is that I'm not saying there's not going to be casualties. There's definitely going to be casualties. But eyes, throat, privates, right? Like, you get 5 people like eventually somebody's going to catch that gorilla's eyes. Somebody's going to catch him down there and just rip, you know. And that is going to make that gorilla useless, you know. He's going to, like, again, there's going to be casualties. But it may be 30, 40, 50 casualties. But eventually those men are going to overpower that gorilla easily, right? Like the amount of force 100 people can do, as well as, like, humans are smart. They're smarter than a gorilla, right? So they're going to be able to be tactical with it as well. Again, once his eyes are gone, it's over. He can't see. You know, then you start targeting his other sensitive areas like his neck, other stuff. He's done. He's over with, right? I don't even know why it's an argument. And again, if you think a gorilla wins that fight, you're not being sensical. You're not being sensical. That's all I'm saying. All right, NASDAQ still pumping up. We're almost at 20.1 thousand, 20.1K. Yeah, but we're not talking about psychologic stuff here. Like, we're talking about if 100 men without fear attacked a gorilla, what would happen? In that regard, you could still probably beat it, right? Because in that regard, once you take the gorilla's eyes out, he's going to run away too. So like psychology doesn't play a factor into it. Yeah, but again, look, eventually somebody's going to get him down there. Somebody's going to get his eyes. Somebody's going to get him down there. Somebody's going to get that gorilla and his carrot and potatoes. Okay? And once that goes and his eyes go, it's over with. Right? 100 people? Like, come on now. Of course they're going to be able to take it out. There's going to be casualties. But it's not even an argument. What's your thought on Dogecoin? Limited usefulness. Don't judge me too much. Limited usefulness. But still somewhat useful. Where's Doge at right now? I haven't looked at it in a while. Dogecoin at 18 cents. Just, again, limited usefulness. Was created as kind of a joke coin and then kind of got pumped up a little bit. But limited usefulness, to be honest, personally. And again, if you think I'm wrong, please don't judge me. We can have differing opinions on things. But if you think I'm wrong, explain where it's useful versus all the other options. Explain where it's the best use case scenario versus other cryptocurrencies. But it still might run. I mean, it's a popular cryptocurrency, and so popularity can sometimes be enough. So. Of course, 100 men would absolutely beat a gorilla. Again, I question people's logic if they think it's not true. Again, men are smart. They're targeting sensitive areas. There's definitely going to be casualties, but, eventually somebody's going to get them in the sensitive areas, and then that gorilla's over, I haven't even pulled up Discord yet. Let me pull it up. All right, guys. Hey, we got the opening bell in about 30 minutes. We got factory orders going live. The NASDAQ is pumping up right now. Pumping up. Huge movements. the gorilla going to the club after smoking 100 dumb MFers. Yeah. So yeah, the Japan Prime Minister this morning said U.S. auto tariffs are absolutely unacceptable. Oh, 10's a different story completely, right? 10 is probably over with, right? I think it would take probably 30 to 40. Reasonable. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not shorting this market. It's too strong. I'll buy a dip down to 20K. But I'm not going to short the market. Bond yield's still rising up right now. It's too strong. Showing economic resilience in this payroll report is just too strong. Yeah, join our Discord. It's completely free. There's the link right there. Check it out. Great way to help support the channel. Join the Discord, guys. No, it's not options. It's just futures. Yeah, there's the Discord link. Again, we're still too close to these highs up here for me to want to buy it up here. It's too high up there. Nvidia did run a little bit. I'm kind of interested in shorting right here, but I'm gonna wait. It might be a cheap short. A gorilla is 700 pounds. Yep, that's true. 100 men. Let's say we average at the average weight for a man, which is probably what, like 170? 17,000 pounds. You know? One gorilla versus Bradley Martin. I'm 6'5" and 260, bro. That gorilla is a little bit bigger than that. Nvidia just broke highs again. We're up to 114.40s. Did somebody super chat me? Oh, well, hey, thank you, Crypto Gaming. What's your thoughts on GameStop and the chart? My bad, bro. I think GameStop's been in the similar range. I'm skeptical of GameStop's future. Like, I think people are getting really nostalgic about the movement of GameStop with Roaring Kitty and all that stuff. The problem is that it's GameStop. They obviously need to close a lot of stores. They obviously need to shut down a lot of their stores. They obviously need to, like, improve their margins. And I think regardless of any of that, they're going to lose business over time because people buy physical copies of video games way less than they used to. And that trend's going to continue. If you extrapolate that trend over the next 30 years, pretty quickly GameStop's revenue is going to decrease. And so they need to find other ways. And I know they're doing Pokemon cards, and that's good. But regardless of whether they do that or not, I think they're going to lose revenue over time, and it's not good for GameStop, of course. And if you got a situation in which GameStop succeeds long term, let me hear it. I'm open to hearing it. In terms of the chart, GameStop's basically been flat for almost a year straight. It's been between 35 and 20. Like, look at this. Up, down, up, down, up, down. It's been very flat for a year straight. Yeah, going digital is probably a good move. Oh, Roaring Kitty has like 70 or 80 million dollars or something crazy. So yeah, but Dan, space improves over time. Like the memory space is obviously going to improve as well, right? Like, you're looking at it too one-dimensionally, in my opinion. Like, you have to understand, think about how much evolution of space and memory video games have received over the last 40 years, right? Now, again, imagine how much they're going to get better from now to then. You know what I mean? So, like, space isn't as big of a hiccup in digital downloads as people think it is. Eventually, that's going to get better and better and better and better, you know? I'm not about to fight a gorilla anyway, bro. This is all hypothetical. Right, V. I mean, that's exactly right. 10 people could probably do it maybe like 30, 40% of the time if they coordinate really well. Right, but that's why I'm saying 100, you could go in waves. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Eventually, you're taking that gorilla out, you know. People keep talking about the gorilla here. Apparently, it's a topic of conversation, but yeah, I'm not feeling that good. I'm still sick, guys. I don't really feel that hot today, man. We got 25 minutes until the opening bell. We'll see what we get. I'm ready. All right, we're going to be day trading live at the opening bell, chats. All right, guys. Again, we're going to be day trading live at the opening bell today. We'll see what we get. I'm ready. All right, guys. So we are going to be day trading live at the opening bell. The market's up big. I'm going to go ahead and short this up here. I'll go ahead and take a short. We're kind of flat. We got a really obvious risk level here, but we got some room. I'm going to look for 65s if we get it, but we got a really tight risk up here, so. All right, we're short. All right, so we all rip it out. I'm gonna let it work a little bit up here. I don't know if I'm gonna add any until we get some confirmation though, but oh, I'm gonna rear naked choke. That's gonna be my move. Add one more to this. So we tapped it. Let's see if we can get green. There we go. Took half off. All right, we're out. Little gain. We're gonna short this again. We got a little cushion. We could probably hold this break even on the day, as long as we don't get like some monstrous rip up here. 20 minutes into the opening bell. Maybe I shouldn't have jumped back in this. Well, there's the monstrous rip up that I did not want. Ugh. What a crazy candle all of a sudden. Honestly, we're still pretty flat on the day, though, but you don't love to see it. What a candle all of a sudden, dude. Look at this red candle. Did something happen? Let me see if there's any news. All right, so the U.S. economic advisor Mirren says good reason for optimism on potential U.S.-China deal. Whoa. Look at this move. Yeah, I don't know why this happened. We're gonna have to draw some levels around these parts. All right, well, we got into a quick little scalp there, but a very quick little scalp. And again, we're pretty much flat on the day, so luckily we had a cushion built into it. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to give up too many of my sources, Philip. I use a lot of different ones. All right, guys, we got 15 minutes until the market opens. 15 minutes here. We'll see what we get. Yeah, well, GDP came out Wednesday, so. Yesterday's high. Yeah, I mean, here's yesterday's high, though. Let's see if it holds. Yeah, so we did see some optimistic news this morning, though. So we did actually have some stuff. So this morning, again, this morning we had and again, give me a follow at Beginner Trades, chat, at Beginner Trades. We did this post this morning, kind of recapping everything going on in finance right there, so you can check it out. We did this post this morning. One of the things we talked about in the post is that in trade policy, Beijing's commerce minister announced it's evaluating a U.S. proposal to hold talks on the president's tariffs of 145%. This is a shift potentially towards de-escalation, and that made a lot of people optimistic. So, yeah, I saw the CEO stuff. I'm not sure. Wasn't the majority of the economic data this week negative? GDP was definitely weak. Jobless claims were higher. I'm trying to think of what the JOLTS report showed up as. JOLTS showed up weaker than expected. Atlanta Fed GDP was weaker. So yeah, most of the reports this week were negative. Well, we got factory orders at 10 now. If we retrace, I'll short it, but I'm a little late, I think. The problem is the SPY's still kind of pushing here. No, it's coming down. If we retrace back up here, we might short, but... Oh, bad fill. I don't really like this fill at all, to be honest, but... I wanted to short it up here. We'll leave it at this, but... I wanted to short it up to this level, but... Well, we got some green, but I want to short up to this level. There's 3. All right. We got factory orders today. I don't know how big that's going to be. The short would have worked too. We had unemployment show up at 4.2% today. We had non-farm payroll show up stronger than expected. We got factory orders at 10 a.m. in about Wall Street Journal's Timorous on the NFP release. He said, quote, "For now, it means the Fed doesn't have to say anything on June at next week's meeting." Unfortunately, this government miscalculated world reaction to tariffs. All right, guys, we got 10 minutes left. 10 minutes left. I'm looking at this level here. I'd rather buy 20K, though, but 20K is way down there now. I could buy 21s. We'll add down to 20.1s and then use a risk level maybe of like 93s. Yeah, I mean, what do you learn from very quickly? I'm gonna go ahead and cut this because we can. What you learn very quickly, guys, is that you got a subset of people that are always bearish, right? They always think the market is gonna go down, and what ends up happening, and one of the reasons they're like that is because, you know, I'll give you an example on the SPY. So here's the SPY. I had so many people tell me that this area here, I started buying up right here. Right here. So many people at this point in time told me that the market was going to crash more and that I was dumb for buying up. I bought a lot of stuff in 2020 as well. Same thing. So many people in 2020 right here told me that it was dumb to buy it up. I bought like a bunch of stocks right here. They told me it was dumb to buy it, that it was dumb, and that like they made fun of me so much, right? And sometimes like the Dunning-Kruger is absolutely real. Like people who are rookies tend to be the most critical of others because they have no idea what they're talking about. And so in both of these moments, people made fun of me. And then within 6 months, kind of crickets. A lot of them created different accounts to avoid the embarrassment of being wildly wrong about this. And so in the end, you always have a subset of people that are always going to be bearish, right? And they're bearish most of the time because they miss out on these type of gains, right? Like if we look at what happened with the last tech boom back here, right? When we look at what happened here, the people that are always bearish, they're bearish because they missed out on this, right? And so they want the market to go back down because they didn't capitalize on one of the biggest bull runs the market's seen in the last few years. And so because of that, confirmation bias wants them to think that the market is going to come back down and give it all up and all that stuff. In the end, crashes are wildly overpredicted. I've had basically multiple people predicting crashes every year for the last 10 years since I've been running this stream. The only time that I thought we might correct or crash was in December. I cut most of my stocks, and we were actually right about this little mini correction or crash. But they don't happen all the time. They certainly don't happen every year, and that's the big misconception with some of these bearish traders, is that they act like we're always red, that we're always down, and they try to save face and all that stuff, and that's fine. I'm okay if you're bearish, but you got to understand crashes are not that common, right? The biggest losers in crashes are also people who get emotional and sell. The biggest winners are people that buy it up. Like, it's better to be fearful when others are greedy, greedy when others are fearful. And so over a long period of time, the market's going to go up. You know, we don't know how long it's going to take for the market to go higher, but over a long period of time, the market's going to go up, right? And again, you can wait to buy anything. Like the way you get around that is just DCA, dollar cost average. I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose money. Always do what you want to do and make your own assessment. I can't guarantee anything. But in the end, people who DCA on these dips, DCA on these corrections are typically the people that turn out the best in terms of like gains that they make. People that are always looking for the next top and trying to short and thinking the market's just going to drop 80% are usually just really inexperienced. No, so David, I bought a couple different stocks, and I can prove it pretty easily too. Like, look, I made a video at the time in a different channel that I have that I no longer operate, but I made a couple different videos, and here's one of them. This video was published. You can see it. Like, hold on, let me show you. May 25th, 2020. Like, look. Let me bleep some of this out. All right, so I bought a bunch of different stocks, right? It's all right. So I'll just show you guys the video. Why I'm buying United Airlines stock here. All right. May 25th, 2020. All right. I bought up a bunch of stocks then. It wasn't just UAL. It was a lot of different stocks. It was MGM. It was UAL and a handful of other ones. It was like Uber. And so just to put this into perspective, let's look at May 25th, 2020 in United Airlines. That is right here. You see this little yellow bubble right here, guys? And so many people made fun of me for this trade, bro. The comment section was filled. Like, look, that is where I bought it. The comment section was filled with people making fun of this trade, saying, garbage, bro, garbage. By the time, like, a couple weeks had passed, they had deleted all the comments. Like, all the negative comments had gotten deleted, and it was just crickets, right? You can look at MGM on the same point. I bought MGM. I bought Uber, I'm pretty sure. Look at this, May 25th. Again, right around here. Again, right around here. And so my point in this is that, like, there's always going to be people who think that we're going to keep going down, right? But that's not a reasonable expectation in certain moments, right? In certain dips, it's a clear overreaction. And, like, there's some big edge in buying up those dips. Even if we do keep going down, if you dollar cost average into that stuff, you're still going to be probably fine. And you're still probably going to make money. Again, not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose money. The point remains, though, that, like, tune out the people always thinking that we're going to go down more, down more. I have not seen a group of people that are more wrong than the constant bearish traders who think we're going to crash every year. Like, Michael Burry is a good example of this. He thinks we're going to crash literally every year. Pressures people to sell, pressures people to do all this different stuff. And I like Michael Burry. I think he's genius. He's wildly over bearish. So like, you got to understand, statistically, the S&P 500 is going to give you 8 to 10%, and that includes the moments when the market's crashing. And so that is the single biggest statistical edge in finance, outside of maybe Bitcoin and crypto, but that's a different, argument. That is the single biggest statistical edge the market gives you, is long-term value investing. NASDAQ, S&P, Dow, they're going to go up over time. And it's an important edge for people to realize. Everybody wants to be contrarian and be the next big short predictor, right? It's not where the big edge is, you know? It's so rare that people are able to do it successfully that they literally made a movie about the couple times in the last 50 years people did it right. And so, again, if you think you're going to be the next one, you're probably wrong. What do? Learn to invest is what I personally would do. Learn to invest, right? Investing is the single biggest statistical edge in finance. And if you do not invest and stick your money into something that goes up over time, this is what the wealthy people understand better than anybody else. If you do not invest into something, you can invest in real estate, gold, S&P 500, NASDAQ, Dow, even bonds, even though bonds are a little bit less. But if you don't invest in something, you are going to lose your money to inflation over time. And so the people that go around predicting market crashes literally every year, they just have they're the biggest sucker bets in the market. I guess I'll put it that way. But again, I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable. Read all the stuff on screen. I can't guarantee anything. Understand all the stuff here, guys. Yeah, not financial advice, as I always say. You can read the bottom. We're not investment professionals. We're not liable if you lose. But yeah. All right, guys, we got 10 seconds here, chat. Let's see what we get. All right, there's the opening bell, guys. Let's see what we get today. All right, we're bouncing right there off of 2075s. I'm going to let the opening bell play out first, though. All right, guys, we're about 1 minute into the day here. I'm watching Apple. Let me put some of this stuff on screen now. Apple falling down at the opening bell under 206. Amazon falling down under the previous closing price. Amazon technically red on the day. Apple falling down deep, though. Meta's actually up a little bit. Airbnb is up. AMD's up slightly. Nvidia is pumping up, though, so we're kind of mixed here. But Apple is falling down a lot. Look at that level right here. Look at this level. Bounced directly off of it. Yeah, where's Tesla at? Tesla up to 288s, 287s. Tesla's ripping, too. Way too early for me to trade. We lost a little bit, but way too early for me to trade. I'm trying to get in early, but I could have held. Wimpiest trader ever. I gotta wait until the opening bell plays out. All right, we got 2 contracts here. Took out half. We'll see if the rest can move. All right, we're out. Again, green on the day. Again, riding this momentum up. Nvidia breaking highs, getting up to 115 right now, 115. I think that one of the next big things is Nvidia earnings that drop live at the end of this month in May. At the end of May, Nvidia has earnings. Should be crazy. Tesla is slightly green on the day, but it's starting to contract back down, going red. Amazon's falling down some too. Nvidia's retracing a little bit as well. Apple's still flushing out. I would buy this normally because we got a big upwick, and I like buying these upwicks a lot of the time because I think most of the time, like, these upwicks are seen as selling pressure, but a lot of the time we can actually like retrace back up. It's not always, though. We'll see if it does. Maybe not. Looks like that did not work this time. So good thing I didn't take it. Again, we're getting a lot of red in Apple, a lot of red in Tesla now showing up, a lot of red in Amazon now showing up. Nvidia's starting to pull back a little bit. AMD's starting to pull back a little bit. Meta's testing the lows of the opening range as well. So do I want to short? Oh, I did want to short. Missed it. Definitely looking a little weak, but choppy. Oh, I don't feel good, dude. Oh, I was gonna short it. We had a little mini cup and handle pattern. I'll wait now, though. This level could hold support, but it's looking really weak right now, too. Look at that. Top 3 greatest levels ever right here. And then we just dumped underneath it. I never attacked the retest. Top 3 worst level right there. If we retrace, I'll short it, but I need a retracement here. That might be big enough. Let's see. Now my level's kind of going against me here. I'm going to cut half of this just to protect the trade, and then maybe we'll add back to it. There we go. All right. We made a little bit there. Not a ton, but we got the rejection that we wanted. Small cushion on the day right now. Look at the red showing up now. What a red candle, guys. Wow. I'm going to try buying this up a little bit here too, but it's a little risky of a buy. We'll add. I'm going to take this off immediately. I just don't trust it at all. Looks like that was the right move. I got to cut this. So we basically got out flat right there. Now we're with the trend here. We're short, but we're basically flat on the day again, but yeah, I'm not having a good time judging this price action today, guys. I don't think I'm going to add to it. So now we're basically, we're still red on the day, but I'll short into 7.5 up here, but market's kind of flat. We'll add. There we go. All right. Not really feeling the hottest. We got factory orders. I don't know how much factory orders are going to move. I just didn't take one contract, and I didn't really get filled at a good spot. See, now we're starting to get some rebounds. Yeah, I'm just not really feeling the market today very well, I think, guys. I mean, I'm trying, but definitely not an easy day. I mean, I'm down very small. I'm down like $60, so it could be worse. Yeah, I'm not feeling that great either, so I don't know. My throat hurts. Nose is stopped up. Yeah, market's just going down big, looking really weak, and then completely retracing all the way back to the upside and looking very strong. And so we're just kind of going back and forth. Yeah, I mean, we're on a green screen right now, and so it's going to be a little bit fuzzy. That's kind of how green screens are. I don't think the camera's really that bad. It's just a green screen. Yeah, we're back up to the top of the range here. Amazon's right at the previous closing price. I'll try to short this. All right, we got out. I'm not really getting good fills either here, to be honest. Not as good as I want. I want to use this level as a resistance area, but I also am worried about a surge back up, like a strong surge back up. Yep, and there it is. I'm just not doing good today. Yeah, we got 4K charts. So the charts are really clean, and then everything else might be a little. Yeah, we got factory orders in 18 minutes, chat. 18 minutes. So stick around. We'll cover it live like we always do, but. Let me make sure we got this. So yeah, factory orders. So flat and choppy right now. I would buy this because it's kind of like an inverse head and shoulders. What I'm noticing in my entries are just not good today. Like I'll jump in and my fills are bad and my entries, like my own, I'm getting in too late is basically what it is. Yeah, I can't even look at block. I don't know why block won't even show up on my Tosh chart right now. It's very strange. So like I can't even look at where block is. Oh, it's got a new symbol. Okay, what is it? XYZ? Yeah. Okay, so here's block. Yeah. Block's had a terrible day. They had some bad news. I think they I can't remember what happened with block. All right, so the U.S. Economic Advisor Mirren says GDP data showed investment surged 22% in Q1. This is not something firms would do if they were concerned. The Canadian Prime Minister is going to meet the President at the White House on Tuesday next week as well. Yeah, I know there's some bad news for block. I can't remember what it is. Wells Fargo downgraded them. Seaport downgraded them. Warren Buffett. Morgan Stanley reduced price target. Seaport Global downgraded them. Benchmark downgraded Block. A lot of price targets were cut for Block. They adjusted their guidance numbers, I think is what happened. They reported worse than expected Q1 results. Yeah, so Block had bad earnings. Look at them, they're down huge. Again, the market's very flat and choppy right now. It's just not good. Hey guys, listen, we need 70 subscribers left. 70 subs left to break 160,000. We still got 1,000 people here. I know most of you guys are subscribed, and I appreciate it. But everything we do here is free. I don't even claim to be a good trader versus the people out here like pretending to be experts and geniuses. We just be honest with people. And we cover economic data faster than everybody else. So subscribe if you haven't. We appreciate the love. Thanks so much. All right, market has been basically stagnated here over the last 6 minutes. This is the range of the last 6 minutes. A lot of up wicks and down wicks. Market's very uncertain about what to do. We got factory orders that are supposed to go live too. Factory orders, advanced durable good release at 10 a.m. It's going to gauge U.S. capital goods demand and business investment trends. After a March surge in durable goods, up 9.2% on aircraft bookings, economists expect a pullback in core orders, excluding transportation, offering fresh insight into corporate spending and inflation pressures. We'll watch UPS and FedEx to see if they're volatile. Tesla breaking under the 200 exponential here. Hey, thank you, OG. Appreciate you, bro. Look at this red candle here. Again, I'm just getting whipped in and out today. It's not easy trading for me. All right, guys, so we're sitting tight waiting here. Needham, again, Block. Yeah, I mean, I think the market obviously reacts to non-farm payrolls based off of the movement we've seen over the last hour or so since they came out. Again, now I don't know what we're going to continue to do here, but all right, we got about 10 minutes left until factory orders drop. About 10 minutes left, chat. The crypto gurus are the worst. They scream, I told you that was the bottom. Yeah. There's less red tape in crypto, and so the crypto gurus are just kind of A lot of them are based like overseas, and so. I'm using Top Step X right now. Subscribe. This guy's a effing legend. Oh, dang. I don't know if I'm a legend, bro. I'm just some finance YouTuber. I appreciate it. Tesla 282s, 283s. I'm definitely the top 3 worst day trader ever, for sure. I mean, I think a lot of people got faked out here, personally, you know. I don't think we can judge somebody for one day of getting faked out. I mean, I think everybody is going to get faked out occasionally. You know, one of the biggest misconceptions that, like, rookie traders have is that good traders don't have bad days. Of course they do, you know. It's normal. The bigger question you want to ask yourself is, why does somebody else's success make you insecure? You know, that's the real question. All right, guys, we got 8 minutes. 8 minutes. There's already a crypto backed by gold. Yeah, I mean, I would assume crypto is going to get backed by gold too. Eventually. I mean, that's pretty standard. Gold's a good backer for a lot of different things. You know. Yeah, we're not going to have a green day every day, you know. Definitely top 3 worst trader today. Tomorrow we might be top 3 best trader ever. You know. Plus, I'm kind of sick today. I'm not really feeling 100%, so I'm not shocked I had a, you know, I'm slightly red. We'll see if factory orders move things. I don't know if they're going to or not. We'll see. Gold? Oh, GLD. Yeah. Oh. All right. 7 minutes. 7 minutes. Here's the 200 EMA. We didn't come all the way back to it. I gotta start just buying this 200 exponential, bro. I'm telling you, dude. Like, if I wait until the market's volatile like this, 200 EMA, look at this. Right here. Yeah, I mean, I think it has to do with, like, susceptibility to believing nonsense on social media, right? I think the more susceptible people are to marketing, the more critical they are at normal traders, right? Like, again, if somebody comes along and they say, hey, bro, you can make 3% every day, dude. No, you can't. You cannot make 3% every day. You can't even average, like, look, you might have really good years where you average 3% per day, but it's certainly not going to be the norm. It's going to be super rare scenarios. If you make, I think it's like if you make 5% a day, you'll be the richest person in the world within 3 years or something like that. But you got a lot of people that just kind of eat it up. They just eat it up. They want to believe it's true, right? So it's confirmation bias. They just eat that up. They think that you're just going to get rich. The compounding effect of 3% daily. Let's do it real quick. Let's say you got a $50,000 account and you make 3% daily. Let's see what happens after 200 trading days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay, so after 100 trading days, you'll have over $1 million from 50K. Right. Again, if you can make that, Goldman Sachs will hire you right now. Yeah, 0.5% is honestly a pretty good return, realistically. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's ways I could do it. All right, market's so flat right now, so flat. Yeah, I'm looking for that option in this calculator. I don't see it. Hold on. Microsoft ripping. 2% every week is good. I mean, it's not going to be every week, though. It's going to be sometimes. Market's very flat right now. It's Friday. I think we might have a flat day for the rest of the day. Yeah, look at that. Look, again, I might start just buying the 200 EMA. Look at that. Sometimes simplicity is best. All right, chat. 3 minutes. 3 minutes before factory orders go live in durable goods. No, even the scientific, they don't really have that option. All right, guys, 2.5 minutes, 2.5 minutes, and then we're gonna cut out. I'm not really feeling that good, bro. I'm still kind of sickish. I'll just have to click it 100 times to do the compound effect of 3% daily. Nah, bro. One of the things about traders, Martin, is that you got to learn to shut it down. Today's not my day. I'm not really feeling good, bro. I don't think today pushing big on my trading. Next week, we got the FOMC meeting going live. We got 1.5 minutes left. But yeah, I'm not really feeling hot. Oh, it's way less than 3% a day. The levels I've drawn here are actually working pretty well, though. All right, here we go. Less than a minute. Less than a minute before we got factory orders live. Ugh. All right, here we go. Let's see what we get. Factory orders expected at 4.4%. Core durable goods last time showed up at 10.4%. Factory orders month over month for March showing up right in 15 seconds. 4.4% is what they're expected at. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. 4.3%, slightly lower than expected. 4.3%. They should have been minus 0.2% excluding transportation items, 0% for durables excluding transport, and durables excluding defense showed up at 10.5%. Didn't really make the market jump that much. We got basically a flat day. Yeah, y'all be safe. I'm just glad it's the weekend. I'm just glad I don't have to work tomorrow, to be honest. Hey, listen, I love you all. Y'all have a great day. Y'all be safe in this market, guys. It's kind of crazy. Again, payrolls are out. Showed up higher than expected. Factory orders were mixed. Hey, I love you all. Again, if you want to check out Top Step, great way to help support the channel. There's no PDT rule in futures, so if you want to get around the PDT rule, check out Top Step. There's no PDT. You can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the Russell, gold, some currencies. The patterns are very similar to blue chip stock patterns. There's no PDT rule. Learning how to trade in a structured environment just makes sense. They give you a 50K demo, and they test your skill with it. If you could pass the test on the 50K demo, you got to make 3K in profit to do it without losing 2K first, following their rules. If you could do that successfully, they fund you 50K with a 90% split, and they pay out millions, fund thousands. Learning to trade in a structured environment makes sense when you consider most day traders lose thousands when they first get started. Limiting your risk with something like this, learning how to trade. You're still under pressure. You're still risking something, but it's not the full extent of risking 10, 20, 30 grand like a lot of traders end up doing. Again, check out the link. I'll put it up in chat one more time. I'm going to get out of here. Hey, y'all have a great day. Understand all this stuff on screen. CFTC 4.41. Hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations, guys. Understand all this stuff. Hey, I love you all. Have a great day. I'm going to get out of here. I don't really feel good. Later, chat. Have a great weekend.